This is Transparent Conversations, Quick Takes, the podcast, live on YouTube.
Hey, welcome to my podcast, Transparent Conversations. It's Quick Takes. Tonight is Wednesday night, 7/9/2025. I'm doing the dates. Episode number 104. I'm doing the dates to mark these down because now I'm talking about what's currently happening in the country, in the world, with the current death regime. Since I was last here 2 days ago, it's rolling. Death is still happening. Death will still be coming. Nothing's really changed. It's getting worse every day. And so I'm talking about some things that I noticed throughout this time. And tonight we're going to be talking about is history even important in this country? Because basically what's happening now happened before. There's nothing new. So we're going to really jump into it. And I'm going to show you some videos of what's happening. Like, history is real. And I find that I get debating a lot of comments, and the debates that I see that are happening is that people don't actually know what happened in Germany in 1933 up to 1933 is when Hitler became, Hitler was took over the country. Right, he started in 1918 in politics and actually took over the country completely in 1933, and then from there, Holocaust, and then World War. Now, the reason I say that, and I'm gonna go into my other things in 1 second. This is my opening monologue. So the reason I say all that is because I saw a video on Instagram of a white gentleman reminiscing, saying that because of AI, he now can hear the speeches from Hitler in English. And he said, the guy was really, and this is him. I don't have that video. No, it's on Instagram. It's out of it. If your algorithms are correctly set up, you should be seeing it because it's everywhere. He was saying basically that, if you listen to the guy, actually what he's saying is the media is bad. You gotta get rid of these immigrants. And what else? I forgot those two things, but basically he said that media is mad, and his conclusion was, this is a white guy. His conclusion was maybe we were on the wrong side, and that took me aback a little bit because I know that if you trace his history, chances are somebody that he knows was in World War II or died in World War II, or died in some other war fighting fascism. So to relate to say that what Hitler sounded, or maybe that's who they are. I think that's, wait a minute. Yeah, that may be who they are. But that's what we need to understand, that these people are fascists at heart. They believe, he's talking about Christians. They were Christians. That's what he was saying, that they were Christians. And there is some history about that too. The Catholic Church did represent or approve of Hitler, in order for them to stay legitimate. So let's go ahead and talk about tonight. Like I said, tonight, this is Transparent Conversations. I'm CPJR, or CPJR 300 if you know me, or the Melancholy Guy if you feel me, Calvin. I'm giving my quick thoughts on what the hell is happening in the world, and why am I doing this and not the regular podcast, Elevated Exchanges, because too much going on. I can't do it. Too much going on with me. I'm affected by this current situation. The hiring freeze hit me, and now it's even going to be worse because I was thinking that maybe if everything freed up, that job will come back. That job isn't coming back. That job and opportunity isn't coming back. I can't say I don't really want it. I was kind of jazzed for it, but I got another one already came up. But even now with the offer that I have on the table, it's even it seems like, okay, there's always can it disappear? You know what I'm saying? Until I actually get the start date, because it's going through HR, everything's fine. Until I get the actual start date and I'm actually there, can't disappear. Or can anything change? Because things are changing every day. So it doesn't feel as assured or as a sure thing as it used to. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm still optimistic. That hopefully, I hope to start Monday. Because they said they needed somebody on fast, and I said the The CEO is trying to make it a priority. CIO is trying to make it a priority, but because of the holidays, someone's out and they need to do what they need to do. So anyway, that's basically it, man. It doesn't feel good to be in a situation of not knowing what's going on, and to see the blatant disregard of our rights and the rights of the immigrants in this country. To hear people saying that I remember one time what they used to say back in the old West, or back in the founding of this country, a good Indian is a dead Indian. So based on the fact that their country, their lands were invaded, their culture was destroyed, they were on a rampage. Of course you would do the same thing. We see it now. They call them savages, and the only good one was a dead one. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing, right? What they're saying now. I'm gonna do one more quote. Something else I saw today. Interesting. Someone posted on LinkedIn, because I'm on LinkedIn a lot, because looking for a job. Also, I'm taking classes there. So someone posted about our friend Stephen Miller, how he gave orders to ICE to don't worry about warrants, right? Just raid work sites, raid Home Depots, raid 7-Elevens, any place that he would imagine that immigrants would be at, people that look like me, people of color who look like just people of color who don't look like they're from Norway or Europe. Just those people, get them out, or Africa, get them out of here. You know what I mean? Like, get them out of here illegally. Just grab them up. And now we've already heard that there's no more amnesty. They're gonna get rid of the DACA kids, the kids that were brought here and went through school, no problem. No trouble. They're just rounding people up. And we're already hearing about how bad it is down there in the place they call Alcatraz. I'm going to show you some history on that, because this is a history, right? We're going to focus on this. The history is out there, right? Like, this information, everything that we're seeing now being done to other people who, the same group of people who perpetrated a lot of the atrocities before, are doing it again. The exact same way they did it before, but they don't see it. Or even the people that, if you voted for him, you didn't see it because you don't actually know history, right? The people at the top of the food chain, right, have always wanted to keep the people down here, the average American, at odds with each other, because they don't want us coming together. Because if we come together, we outnumber them. So, and I got a video on that though. So why not just keep throwing raw meat in the fray, right? I don't hate anyone. Not true. I don't hate any group of people. Let me say that. But I know that for a fact there are white people that hate my people, who thinks we don't produce anything in the country, that we're in the country just taking. We don't do anything for anyone. That we do all the crime, that we do everything that's bad. And it's not that they don't see that. They do see that, because that's where the media portrays it. And it's reinforced. So they have a natural, it's visceral. It's a visceral in them. There's a hate, and I don't know. They know why it's there. It's just there. It's just there because they have a superior complex. So everything we do to succeed and survive pisses them the fuck off. I'm not monetized. Pisses them the fuck off, and all they want to do is destroy us. Right? They don't want us in their neighborhoods. I don't want to be in neighborhoods either. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in a mixed neighborhood. I grew up in a mixed school. Right? I went to school with all races. I got along with all races. I never had any incidents. I prefer black women. That helped me a lot. So I don't date black women. I could have dated white women. I did not. Well, I didn't date anybody. You know my history. I didn't date anyone. So I had a couple of encounters. there was some in the mix, but that wasn't my goal because I to me it's about culture, not about race. So it's about culture. So if anyone was of the culture, it doesn't matter about your race for me. Because I had one of my buddies, one of the people I grew up with, was of another race in the culture. He was definitely one of our homies. But it never was a thing, and I say that to say that if they can keep us fighting each other, they can keep us under control. So I don't know what it's going to take to bridge that gap or wake the people up. I mean, this last election just shows how bad it is when we as a culture heard this man say the exact same thing that they heard, and then what they heard sounded good. Now they're still sticking to loyalty to him, and they're seeing that they're being screwed over. That doesn't, because that's their identity. They've identified themselves with him, right? So even when they get screwed over by him, they just they don't see their life without being a supporter of him. That's a cult, right? That's a cult. All right, so let me take care of some business before we go into the meat of things that we should know. I have to admit, I'm not a scholar. I went to college, I didn't graduate. I'm not a scholar. I think I had enough information. Like Cameron said, once I know what I'm gonna do it. What do I need to keep going there? But I wish I had it. I would have. I had at one time wanted to be a scholar, but circumstances, life got in the way, and I got to working. Man, I went in IT and did what I had to do. Once I got there, I was good. So anything I wanted to really learn, I had the freedom and the latitude to go and study or go dive deep into anything, and I had the foundation to be able to do that. Through just my upbringing. I think my mother really did that for me a lot. She did a lot for teach me when I was young, teach me how to read in context, numbers quickly, things like that, sounding words out. I mean, it was brutal. It was brutal in workbooks, but it laid a foundation from when I was very small that I could build up on. To continue to just want to learn and read, and reading with comprehension is the thing, though, right? Being able to really sit down or just think about something you want to read about. Because here's the thing, right? When I was reading, I would just pick up books and read, right? I would just, unfortunately, my family had books around. I would just pick them up and read, and then I would learn, what's going on. Like I learned about what really happened in Texas and in Mexico. Mexico. And I read a book, a long time ago. I read a biography of Henry Kissinger, right? So that taught me. But see, that right there, right? That actually flawed me or screwed me because I had a romantic view of Israel at that point. Right, the kibbutz and all that kind of stuff. I had a romantic view, and they were fighting for their, the same thing. The same thing we used to think about cowboys, right? We used to think that cowboys, or back in the colonials, that they were just being attacked by the Indians, right? Didn't give any thought about the fact that these people were living here before they got here, and these people were trying to save their culture and save their lives. And if you ever go to the Native American Museum here in DC, when you go there. They have you go to the very top first, right? And you read, they have on the walls all the treaties that were, all the treaties that were made with their people, the native people with the this country, United States of America. Every treaty was broken. Every last one of them. So they have you go up there first to feel the weight of what it was to be a Native American and try to deal with these people and have every treaty broken. And as you come down levels in the museum, you start to see their culture, their actual real culture. But they want you to, I think they want you to understand the weight of what they've been through, how they've been treated while they were in this, by this country. every treaty was broken. It's really a hard thing to go, and hard thing to do. I think my Kyra wanted to go there. I went there, and Kyra and Sasha and her Jason, her husband now, Kyra's husband. We all went there. No, the first time was just us three, and then the last we went twice because it's a bigger museum. And it's hard. It's hard. I never been to the Holocaust Museum. That would be hard for me too. I'm kind of empathetic or have empathy, so it weighs on me when I'm in these environments. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been to the African American Museum either. Eventually I will go, but I have to go when I'm in the right frame of mind and I'm ready, so I can get something out of it, and then I'll be able to walk out of it and not feel too down. So yeah, let's get to it. I've been talking like 15 minutes already. Let's get to it. So let me insert the monologue here, which I'm doing right now. And yeah, if you get a chance, if you really like what I'm doing, if you want to go ahead and spend some time sharing, and subscribing, you could do that. I would appreciate it. If you want to give me some comments on what I could do better, something you want me to talk about, that'd be great too. If not, I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing because I'm doing this for me. It's important. I do a lot of research and a lot of work while I'm doing this. Like I said, I'm not trained in media at all. I'm just, I don't know, I'm not trained in media, but I always wanted to be in media. I remember when I was in elementary school, they had we had like an AV morning news type thing. This is a long time ago. So we had it in a big cart, and we would push around the cart and then get on the mic as little kids, elementary school, and then record a news story. I like that. I like that. And then you could be on the announcements team. Then you go to the office, and do announcements for the entire for the school for the day. I like that too. So that was cool. So anyway, I'm doing this just for me to talk about what's going on, be engaged, add my voice to the fight for this country. And it's interesting when you say that online or in some comment section or some board or something like that or some group. The way that we're attacked is crazy. I don't know. This is supposed to be the home of the free, land of the brave, and it's now the home of the cruel. Cruelty is the point, right? And what we're hearing about down there in Alcatraz, Auschwitz, is appalling. I can't believe that is happening as we're here. That happening right now. That we're here and we have to actually see this happen while we're just not able to do anything. And we know that the reason for the detentions, and they want to get everybody. Remember, they only started with wanting and now we already know the numbers are below Obama and what's the man's name? The last president? Biden. The numbers are below, the deportation numbers below Biden and Obama because they're doing about it in such a heavy-handed way. And people are hiding and they're running after them. And because they know that this is all a money grab. Remember, they got $174 billion approved and they have that money to spend. And then, so if you have that much money to spend, and why not just get everybody? Because everybody is money, right? It's a slave catcher industry, right? It's a slave catcher industry all over again in our faces with our money, with our tax money. They are using our tax money to enrich themselves by catching immigrants. That's it. That's the plan. That's the play, right? It has nothing to do with America first. It has nothing to do with trying to get Americans back to work or none of that stuff. The country was fine prior to January 20th, and now it's a mess, right? Nobody said anything about trying to get Americans back to work off Medicaid or work requirements before the election, but now it's the only thing. Automation, they said it, right? They need people to automate, and they need people to get back to work to qualify for their Medicaid, and so the jobs are picking in the fields. So, and then it's the other slave. The other possibility is they want to, set aside, I guess, groups of immigrants to work for farms. So they're going to give those immigrants to the farmers. make the immigrants. It's insane. The things they're saying are insane, and the fact that they don't actually know that we as a people, as an American people, cannot say, hey, wait a minute, that's slavery, that's indentured servitude. We know you're trying to do this for money. There's no reason to detain so many people at one time, unless all you want to do is spend money. Who is getting the money? Why are you using private prisons? Right? Why are you using bounty hunters? Why are you using force? Why are these people so riled up to get these people when they to get these people and put them in the detention centers? Right? Why is it such a priority to do that? And we know it's money. Anything. Like people say, follow the money. Follow the money. I've seen this over and over again. The first housing crash, they did the thing with the loans for the education. And then they had all the people going to these schools, unaccredited schools for things like nursing aides and things like that. They dumped all this money in that, and all these schools opened up. These entrepreneurs, these people who want to take advantage of this opportunity, and then all these people had these little certificates or whatever from these schools and couldn't get jobs. That was a scandal. That was a money grab. Anytime you see a government program come up, right? There's going to be people who are set in place to get that money, right? So there's no reason to do it the way they're doing it because it was working before, right? It's no reason to. They said they wanted to get the illegals out. I don't know why I'm doing this so much. I'm sorry. They said they wanted to get the illegals out, right? But now it's like we need to get all of them out. We're going to cancel every protected status person. If you are here and you are going through the process for asylum to become a citizen. All that's done. If the DACA student, the kids, they're done. If they catch you, you have a green card, you're a permanent citizen. I mean, a naturalized citizen right now. Naturalized citizens might be next, or a birthright citizen. You were born here. You're going to detention, right? I follow some Reddit boards about people who are getting these letters, and they're telling them you need to self-deport. You can't, because they're like, go to court, and that's up to you. But me myself personally, I wouldn't want to go to a detention center because you might not make it out alive. They're torturing people, no food. If you saw the pictures just from Alcatraz, they're overcrowded, just with beds. You don't get showers. You can't go to the bathroom, and then you get food maybe once a day, because the cruelty is a point, but then also the point is profit, right? People were planning on becoming millionaires through this process, and that's what they're doing right now. So let's take care of business. Then we're going to watch the first video. First video going to be a joke. If some people may be mad. That's okay. It'll be all right. Yeah, so first of all, before we do this first video, just something funny. It's not going to be about history, but something about my history. It may be funny, may not be, but it's funny to me because basically I don't know. I changed my algorithm somehow, and I'm getting less big booties on Instagram, and I'm getting more informational. I don't know what I did in my video, but I made myself stop clicking on big booties because it's too much. I can't do that all day long. It's too much. So once I'm into this mode and I'm doing research for things like this, and I'm getting in little I don't know comment battles or whatever, I started my algorithm changed, and I got a lot more stuff like this. So we're gonna watch this first video.
Could you imagine still going to church? I know, yes, there's some people here who still go to church. I'm not asking you to imagine it. I'm asking the other people who at some point in their young adult life took a step back and they were just like, it's a scam, right? Like it's... But you do go out of fear because when you're a kid, they're like, if you don't go, you don't even want to fucking know. And as a kid, where you believe everything adults tell you, you're like, I will go then. They're good, because if you question it, you also you're fucked. If you even question it, you're fucked. Not worth it. Not worth you. An hour a week? An hour a week.
That must have been a Catholic person. So the reason I pay that is because I always said to me, like, church was very tragic. It was traumatic to me. It was really traumatic. I don't know why. My mind clicked a long time ago that this is it. What am I here for? And I'm sorry if that offends anyone, but it did a long time ago, and I've been trying to rationalize it ever since. And then the only reason that even after I became an adult, the reason that I stuck with it is because of my addictive personality, I had addiction issues, and that seemed like a good way to beat those issues. Didn't worked. But I kept trying to go. And then I'm gonna research. I told you I research. So I researched more and more and more, going into churches. By the time I got to the point where I left the church, I was reading like 4 different versions of the Bible. I was reading everything I could read, trying to figure it out. Like, what does this really mean? But then everything I hear and see doesn't match up with what I'm reading. I don't care about the inconsistencies as explained in the book, right? That's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. It's all y'all got. People give me explanations as to what it really is and why it's like that, blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is I don't understand what I'm seeing in life. In life, it doesn't match up to what I'm reading in the book, right? But I'm not even saying that though. What I'm saying is, what are you reading? What is it telling you? Why is it telling you to live? The book, if you look at what a Christian should be, and I said this the other day to somebody, it's like you basically just lead with love. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? I don't really see anything else that you need to know. Right? Sin is gone, right? Because once you accept Jesus Christ, sin is gone, right? So what else are you doing? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? If you live your life trying to be the best follower of Christ, which is love, because that's what he did. He got him killed, though. Then you shouldn't. Then there's no room for nothing else. I don't know what else I need to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the other stuff is the motivation stuff. You know, like to do your best. You're gonna get some help. Go through. Keep going. Those are just like inspirational things. Like, that's a normal life for me. All right. Enough of that. It's funny. All right. So we're gonna go into the history part. So what I'm gonna say is, so everything that we're going through right now has happened before, right? There's already been a Holocaust. There's already been a genocide in this country. There's been genocides over there in Europe. There's been genocides in the Middle East. Everything we're going through has been done, and every time it's happened, it's because for some reason, not all of a sudden, but through time, and if you watch Star Wars, you know about this. Through time, one group or a group is picked out to be undesirable, right? Be different. We don't want them here. They're causing all the problems. And then all of a sudden, the government will flip, and all of a sudden, all the resources will be taken to destroy that group. Over and over again. Over and over. And then the group is vilified. The group fights back, they're vilified, and it comes harder. Right? Right? The people that are being put in concentration camps right now, with our tax dollars in this country, are not the problem. They are workers. They are people that are working, are trying to take care of their families. Right? Maybe some of them did come here illegally. That's fine. It's a civil offense. We can handle that. There's a system. We've been trying to handle that for years, pathway to citizenship. But then you got a core group of people who call themselves Americans, because for me, they're no longer Americans. I don't know. This company has they're no longer Americans. They don't have the same values that I have, which is like live and let live, freedom. You know, we're all equal under the law, eyes of the law, the government, or y'all God. We're all supposed to be equal. If you work, you eat. Basically, and if you're down, we help you get back up, right? That's what I believe. That's how I was brought up. So you're talking something else now. No, I'm sorry. You're not talking something else now. You've been talking this shit. We just all of a sudden get to hear it. You got the power behind you today. All right. So let's go on to video number 2. So what I'm saying is, for some reason, we don't see the play. We don't see the play, right? They say if you don't know history, you're doing to repeat it, right? 70 million, I don't know, saw what he said. He said exactly what he was going to do. Get rid of the vermin, because he called people vermin. The same thing that Hitler said. He said it out loud, right? You know, from the first time Stephen Miller tried this mess, but now he had even more power, because we gave him the House and the Senate and the White House and the SCOTUS, I'm not going to say SCOTUS is completely gone, but SCOTUS has no true north. They're ideologues. They have different, a lot of them have a mixed up view of Christianity, a couple of them. They have hate in their heart and hate in their system. So justice doesn't mean anything. They don't have a true north, right? Before, I believe that the court was about justice, right? Thurgood Marshall, it was about justice. As soon as they got a chance to overturn Roe v. Wade, they did it on ideological terms or ideological terms. The reason that Roe v. Wade was set in place was because of privacy. Basically, the care of between a doctor and a woman is their business. It's not the business of the entire country, right? So once you lift up Roe v. Wade, then all of a sudden, now it's everybody's business. Then they say it's about state. It's everybody's business. We got to know exactly what you're doing. We want to know what's in your womb. They come up with ways to track it through the Walmart website. Oh, good news. Good news. We got good. Right before I came on today, we got good news. I found out that because Amazon, they say Amazon was protecting some good numbers for the Prime, right? Prime Day. Prime Day is down 41%, right? And the person who was reporting it was saying it shows signs of the recession. But I'm like, okay, it's the boycott. It's a boycott. People aren't shopping at the time. I mean Amazon. I emptied my account, right? I was getting ready to close. I woke up one morning so mad after the $50 wedding, and I was just tired of the news that I was getting ready to close my account completely, but I forgot that I have all these Alexa devices in here. And then once I do that, I'm gonna lose all my Alexa devices and I'm gonna not be able to run my home. It's gonna shut down. So my goal is to immediately, as soon as possible, get rid of every Alexa device in this house, switch over to Google Home, which is still a compromise. But I like having the smart speakers. And I have a lot of money into Alexa devices. I'm gonna sell them all for $100 flat rate. I have all these little I don't know what they call these things anymore. The mini Echoes, the small ones. I have everywhere. I use it as my stereo system. I have the woofer, the subwoofer, the Echo subwoofer, which is like that's $250 by itself. And then you get two of the little Echo Minis. I have two of those, and I have one back here with a clock on it. I have one in the bathroom to control those lights. It's one upstairs to control the doorbell, I think. It's just up there. So all this is going out. I'm replacing everything with Google because I don't want, every time I have to say Alexa something, I get mad. I get mad to have to say it because I want it out of my house. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say it anymore. I don't want Amazon in my house. I printed out all my lists that I had for things I want to buy. And I've been sourcing them through the regular website. Just search. You still can find everything that's in there through the actual manufacturers or the people that actually sell it, not through Amazon. So that's done. 40% is a hard hit. And I feel sorry for the people that work there. Because basically, if you know me, I'm an Amazon. I used to be an Amazon employee, AWS, on the other side, the corporate side, tech side. I enjoyed it at first, but I kind of got tired. It is very impersonal to work there, right? I mean, it's a cool place. They have money. They spend money on the aesthetics, the atmosphere, your equipment, your training, everything like that. But once you get in there, there's not individual pathways you can go. You have to fall in line to the Amazon way, right? And they will lay you off. Anytime in a minute, you'll be laid off. And I've seen them fire people because they couldn't come up, catch up fast enough. That's why I was glad I got on the technical screen, because some people weren't doing the technical screens correctly and people got through. But then once you get through, if you don't make your metrics or meet your deliverables or goals, they will fire you. And then because I was a coach to a lot of people, they lied and said they quit. And I know that for a fact they were fired. But they lied and told us, the group, my team, that people quit. They went on and found something else. And what they'll do is, they sort of don't fire you. They sort of like tell you, well, you're not really making a goal, right? You're not making the metric. You're not making a goal. You're not making a goal. You're not making a goal. I know it's worse on the facility side. What do they call it? I forget what they call it. The operation side. It's worse on that side because it's straight numbers for them. If they just if they have an app and the app hit a red or something like that, they just don't come to work. They just don't give you shifts anymore. You just gone. There's no way to work around it. So it was a for me, I thrive in that type of environment, but for a lot of people it was rough. So I hate to see, I can't say I hate to see him going down, but homeboy, I'm gonna tell you this. Take you should be looking at Bill Gates, right? Don't flaunt your money. Don't have $50 million weddings and invite celebrities to come to Venice and shut Venice down because people are going to hate you. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do with your money. It's your money, right? But then if people are suffering and then you're just having a good time and then you're openly with the current regime, the death regime in office, people are going to hate you. They're going to hate you and they're going to hate Amazon, right? And they're going to want Amazon to fall, right? I know you'll never be broke in your life, but Amazon can fall. All right, because I ain't shopping there. Amazon, Target, Walmart. When I do my sourcing, if I got to get it from one of those stores, I'm not going to get it. I'm going to find something else. Hopefully Home Depot and Best Buy never betray us because I'm going to be run out of options real bad. And the funny thing is, I noticed that when you go shopping now or try to shop online or use Amazon or Google Shopping, the first results are always Walmart, Amazon, Target. Those are the sponsored links. Those are what you see. And then you have to actually dig down deeper to find other stores, as if the only top three places you can buy things are Amazon, Walmart, Target, the three biggest offenders, the three companies that we're trying to hurt because of the betrayal. So let's go into the second video. We're gonna go long tonight. No, maybe not. I don't know. All right, so go to video 2. So we're going to the history now. So these are things that you should know, right? Things that you should know. Things that happened before, and then they're happening right now in your face, and your tax dollars are paying for it.
Adrian, you told the agents that you were a U.S. citizen?
Oh, yes. Wait a minute, one more.
And
this is
I
current.
told them that when they started questioning me, they said, okay, where were you born? I said, I was born in Huntington Park. And he said, do you have anything to prove that? I said, well, yeah, I have my driver's license.
This is a U.S. citizen.
On me.
Do you feel like they believed that you were a U.S. citizen?
I believe that they knew. Basically, they just wanted any type of little proof to see if it's true. And they're making it very hard for me to actually prove that.
When this happened, like you were working at Walmart, are you going to be going back to work at that Walmart? Or like, what does the next step look like?
As of right now, they fired me. So I don't even think I can go back. It was on the 17th. They fired me on the 18th. And they said because it's work violence.
They said
that because he had work violence. Basically, they fired him because ICE jumped him, right? His leg is broken. It took him. He's a citizen. He's telling ICE that I'm a citizen. They're still wrestling him to the ground. Broke his leg, and then Walmart said, "You know what? We got to fire you because of violence." So, ICE cost a U.S. citizen bodily harm. Probably got PTSD now, and then because I would be scared to leave the house. Probably has PTSD now, and then Walmart fired him.
Wow.
Yeah. Which, as we now know, he wasn't even arrested for assault charges.
You were in the van, and then what happened? Like, what was the process like?
Yeah, ever since I got in the van, it was just a lot of driving around. But until we got to the actual building, it was basically where they had all of the people they were getting, like from ICE and getting all those. They were getting people, like if it was a dog shelter, like getting animals, like rounding them up in shackles and chains, and these are hardworking people, and they have them worse than like animals. Like that's what I specifically remember. They're treating us worse than animals.
What medical injuries did you sustain during your arrest and detainment? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
That I know of, I was just busted up from the knee, and I was bleeding from my knees, my shoulder, when they were grabbing me. I had bruises on my arm from when they were grabbing me, and my fingerprints. You can see their fingerprints, and a big bruise on between my bicep, and my back was bruised. I had bruises right here.
Adrian attempted to merely question the treatment of an elderly man against the treatment of these big armed agents. And in doing so, he was met with violence. What is scary is that at first he was disappeared, alleged to have assaulted agents when that was factually false. What is even scarier is that he was disappeared into ICE detention, people without legal status or who are accused of not having legal status are not being afforded due process and are being put at this type of risk. We all have a right to record out in public. You don't have a reasonable expectation of privacy when you're out in public, and they are acting in this masked way, these almost mercenary type individuals who appear to lack the appropriate training and are enforcing these laws with violence.
They're not laws.
And that is what's most concerning here.
They're not laws. They're not lost because Stephen Miller already said that. Just go out and just round them up. They don't care about the law. They don't care about getting people with warrants. They just want to lock people up. So that was a citizen, right? There was a young man that was born in the United States. That was his parents. That was a young man that was born here. He's a citizen, right? He was talking to, I guess they hit the site near where he was, and then they questioned him. What are you doing? And then they as we've seen over and over again, they just start attacking him, and then threw him in the van, and then drive him around. This is a citizen, right? He as if he has no rights, right? We're supposed to have a right, right? They're supposed to arrest us. Show cause. Was it? Is it cause? Yeah, something else. Anyway, show cause before they arrest you and before they put their hands on you and lock you up and put you into the van and drive you off. That's kidnapping, because he doesn't know why he's in there. There was an assault. Did they read him his rights? Can ICE just detain citizens and then drive them around in vans? So that's the thing about this. That's for fear, intimidation. So now, if you see that happening, because I probably will go past Home Depot tomorrow. So if you see that happening, right? So what if I say something as a citizen? Ask why you treating that man like that. Do I have any guarantees that they won't grab me up because I'm a citizen? I don't have any guarantees. There's no law. There's no guarantees of anything anymore. There's no guarantees that if the federal agents or federal officers come around you, and say anything to you, there's no guarantee that you will not be disappeared. And the thing is, if you show this to a MAGA, they won't believe it. They'll believe he did something. They'll insist that he did something. He shouldn't be here. And that's what I'm saying. So I'm sorry, that wasn't a history video. The next one will be. I think that's. I meant to show you some current. Yeah, I meant to show. Should say it on my script. I meant to show you what's happening currently. That's Andor. If you ever seen Andor, Cassian Andor, from Star Wars, the exact same thing happened in Star Wars prior to the first episode. There was a genocide. The Gorman incident, where all the people on the planet was killed because they needed the resources on the planet. But that's the same thing. They did a propaganda. They had a plan of propaganda. They did a campaign of propaganda to make the Gormans. They staged. This is the Empire. They staged attacks. They said that the Gormans were attacking them, and then they started doing something to provoke them into attacking, and then they just killed them all. And they had the whole empire saying, "Oh yeah, it's about time they took care of that Gorman problem." So here we are, same thing, same play, a fascist play. All right, I think we got it right here. This is my second. That was two. All right, so the third one. This is going to be history lesson from
the colonial elites knew they had a problem. Black slaves and white laborers were teaming up and fighting together against the rich white guys. So they passed those slave codes I talked about last time and gave poor whites a taste of privilege and stripped away rights from black people so that they wouldn't trust each other anymore. And then they used religion to win the trust of the people that should not have trusted them at all. The real divide was between the rich and the poor, but the rich made it between black and white so that they could keep screwing everyone over while blacks and whites were feuding with each other over a few scraps. The colonial elites wanted slaves, and they weren't about to free them just because they converted to Christianity as the Europeans did. So they made laws about making sure they stayed slaves. Nice. And with that, Christianity became their primary tool to control, divide, and conquer. White Christians were told that they were God's chosen people, that their privilege was divine, that America was theirs. Black Christians, slaves, were told to obey, that their suffering made them holy. The questioning was sin. Actually, that's what I was taught too, but it didn't stick with me. And black folks didn't buy it either. I mean, they appreciated the little comfort that came from learning how to cope with being slaves, because they were slaves and they had to cope with it. They didn't have a choice. But they didn't buy that it was the whole story.
They did.
They secretly built churches they called hush harbors and met at night away from the white masters. They blended African religion and Christianity. The Bible stories they focused on were about freedom, like Moses freeing the Israelites, not how to be a better slave. They preached and sang about liberation. They became religious extremists to survive. They had to be able to speak the speak of the white masters, but they needed something that fed their souls. White folks became religious extremists because it patted their egos. Fast forward to today, and now we've got two versions of Christianity. I mean, there's a billion versions of Christianity, but we've got these two that I'm going to talk about. Some black Christians locked into the fear and punishment and the need to be freed, for good reason. White churches wrapped their faith around MAGA and white nationalism, and their own egos got conflated with those of the rich tricksters. They think they're part of the elite in crowd, when really they're just pointing the finger of blame in the wrong direction again. Next time, in part 5, I'll talk about Reconstruction and what was promised and how that was stolen. Stay curious.
I do. Thank you. Hush harbors. That's a real thing. Hush harbors. Hush harbors were secret, secluded places where enslaved African Americans gathered during the antebellum period in the United States to practice their religious traditions away from the watchful eye of slave owners. I have never heard of a hush harbor. Right? I have a pretty decent education. I grew up in PG County with the school. I have never heard of a hush harbor. Right? Okay. So you see where religion was used as control, right? They need to separate the races and separate us, because basically, if we got together, the masterful way they played, the masterful way 47 played us, or played not us, because 97% of us, 91%, we knew the mission. We knew this idiot would do what he's doing, because that's who he was. That's who he is. We saw the Central Park 5 happen. Right, the whole take out the ad. He doesn't like people of color, black and brown people. He doesn't like them. Right. I don't know if he's racist. He's definitely racist, but he doesn't like black and brown people as a race, as a competitive race. Because here's the thing. The fact that we survived and kills them. Right. That we survived outside of slavery kills them. Right, the fact that we survived out of slavery, Jim Crow, lynchings, and still were able to rise, kills them. They don't want to see. They don't want to see it. If we have anything, we stole it. Right, in their mind, we stole it because we don't deserve it. Right, but the thing is, they're not going to benefit if we're gone. They're still going to be right, because they're still going to be a lower class. The thing is, right, if you look at what's happening right now, right, the secretary of agriculture stated that everybody out of here, all the Democrats are gone. Democrats of color are gone, right? The ones that do the labor, right? The ones that do the labor, that's their life. They are on that thing. They probably elevate their kids out. But then that's their life. Obviously that's their life. They want to do better. They could do better, but that's their life, right? Working in the meat cutting industry, the farm industry, agriculture industry. That's what they do. So now when they're all gone, they're gonna start looking for new workers, and they've already stated that, hey, automation. I don't know how you automatically gonna cut up meat or pick up stuff from the fields. Automation, or we got all these Medicaid people they're going to have to work now, who are already, the numbers don't add up. They're already working. Most of them are already working. And It's not enough. It won't be enough. So it's like, the logic they have is twisted. But all they got to do is keep saying that, because MAGA, the white people, don't care. They think they're going to benefit, right? This whole thing with the terrorists, and we got all this money coming in. They're still talking about, they believe that the tariffs, the money, they call it the external income tax. They think that's going to get rid of regular taxes. Seriously. They believe anything they say, and they're being played, and you cannot stop them, because racism is insidious, it's in them, and as long as they identify with Daddy Trump, they good, because they believe Daddy Trump will take care of them, even as he takes away things from them, even as things are worse now than they were when Biden was president. And Biden, I already knew the thing with the inflation that was still coming off of the pandemic, and then price gouging. So that's that you got to work those. You have to work those problems, right? Doing what he's doing right now is not working the problem. It's making problems. It's making life worse, right? But they don't care, because they identify with him, the rich guy, because they believe the rich guy can always take care of them, which he's not. So, and then that's their identity. So if they leave it, they leave their identity, then who are they? Are they just the same as us? Or are they better than us? That's what we need to, that's what we're dealing with, man. It's not a good thing. Let's go ahead and get to video number 4, because we're coming up on an hour.
I want to give you guys just a little bit of history, because the term alligator Alcatraz is reminiscent of something that is also a piece of Florida history that's actually pretty repulsive. And it is the term gator bait. I don't know if you guys have ever heard the term gator bait. The term gator bait was born in Florida, and it came from the time during enslavement, when enslavers in the state of Florida used to use enslaved men, women, but especially children, including infants, and put them in the Everglades and put them out so that they could use them to attract alligators, to catch alligators. And the term gator bait comes from a very real thing, the use of live enslaved children, babies, toddlers, to try to attract alligators, because they knew they'd come and try to eat them. And they would use these babies as bait. And so the term gator bait actually has a really ugly, nasty history. And when you use terms like alligator Alcatraz, and you literally locate that concentration camp in the Everglades, where again, it's an environmental hazard, a human hazard, and a human moral catastrophe, it has resonance if you know anything about American history.
All right, so gator bait. So if you Google that, it's gonna come up with. I use Gemini. I don't use Gemini AI. I just use Google, but it runs through Google, Gemini AI first, and it comes up and saying that there's a debate about that. Did it actually happen or not? But we already know it did.
Adrian, you told the agents that you were a U.S. citizen.
We already know that it did happen. We already know that it did. We know that it did. Because the cruelty, the people are cruel. I mean, what they're doing now, it's in them. It's in them. I already said they're the most violent people on earth. They'll debate me about that. Because they'll debate you about that, because basically all they get is Fox TV, and as far as they know, all the crime is done by black people. It's not done by any white people. Because they don't see what's happening now as crime or violence. They just see that as, we'll be handling this problem. And the problem is the immigrants, the black immigrants. All right, so I think we're on video number 5, and then we'll do a food for thought, and we're out of here.
What does President James K. Polk have to do with you? Texas. Polk became president in 1845 and was the last president before the Civil War to really do much of anything except cry. Also, I'm getting kind of this sort of a aesthetic here. A little bit. He campaigned on the annexation of Texas and the acquisition of California and Oregon, and he got the annexation of Texas and the acquisition of California and Oregon. Texas actually gained independence from Mexico in 1836. Mexico didn't recognize their independence. Since so many Americans had moved into the newly independent Texas Republic, there was a big desire within the American population and the United States government to annex it and make it a new state. The presidents before James K. Polk kind of got this ball rolling, and in 1845, Polk signed a resolution annexing Texas and making it the 28th state. Mexico did not like this. War happened. It's important to note that war happened because Polk sent the army down to Mexico. Sat him right at the border, sent him across the border sometimes, and did a whole not touching, can't get mad, not touching, can't get mad they did get mad. When the war was over, America had taken Texas, California, New Mexico, Utah, Arizona, and Nevada, and some pieces of Oklahoma and Kansas. The continental United States looks like it does now, meaning is the United States, in large part because of James K. Polk. The treaty that ended the Mexican-American War granted the Mexicans who were living in those areas that were now suddenly America citizenship if they wanted it. They had 1 year to declare their intention to do so, or they had to go to Mexico, New Mexico.
Mexicans.
The country. This means that Mexicans got American citizenship before Black Americans did. Important to note that in the American census, up until 1920, Mexicans were counted as white. The treaty also guaranteed that the land grants given to the Mexican citizens who still lived there would be honored by the American government. This is not what happened. The American government stole a lot of that land from those people. Shocking! I just think it's important to point out that a lot of the Hispanic people living in the southwestern United States have been Americans for much longer than any of Donald Trump's family, or Stephen Miller's family, or Tom Homan's family, or Joe Rogan's family. Their people immigrated here from Europe. These people were made Americans when the states were born. Suck it.
So that's interesting, right? Like the normal thought is that the first Americans were all white. The first citizens were all white, and obviously they weren't. So that's history, right? That's history we don't know, right? Like I think I already know the history of the Alamo and then the annexation of California, to Texas. That story, I know that story from a book I read, and because I was at the Rangers. I can't remember that book though because it had something to do with the Rangers. Anyway, so that I don't know. Maybe that was Lonesome Dove. I read that book, but no, it was another book I read about the history of Texas. I can't remember what it was, but basically, I know the part about Polk. I didn't know about the part about Mexicans. Is there a better name? Mexicans, because they weren't in Mexico, were they? Oh, they were in Mexico. Yeah, it was Mexico at the time because even though it was annexed or it was taken from Mexico, it was still Mexico. So they were still Mexicans until they became Americans, Mexican-Americans. So they were the original. They said the colonies. But even say the colonies. Everybody wasn't here from the colonies, right? Yeah, so they were here. They were here as citizens before a lot of the white people. That's basically what we're saying. And there's something else to be darn taught, right, in history, because they constantly they say that everyone shouldn't be here, and I know they try to take our citizenship too. They say we shouldn't be here because they don't want to do birthright citizenship. Have you heard about this? They want to do a game show for citizenship. Like a Hunger Games type game show. It's been pitched. And I don't know if they're going to do it. I've heard they're going to do UFC in front of the White House. This is it's just like, this is what they want to do. It's a distraction. You know what? They use the same method in Rome back in ancient times to distract the crowd, right? Just give them stuff they want to see. Oh, they would love to see some UFC at the White House. Make that happen. Oh, we can do a game show. We take some immigrants and put them. Oh, Squid Games. Why don't we do Squid Games? Right? The winner gets citizenship. That's the thing that this is what you're gonna see, right? Distraction. Throw raw meat to the MAGA crowd because they having fun right now, seeing what they want to see. Now they're having issues with the Epstein file. They say what file? The Epstein situation. I'm not even involved in that. The Epstein situation. So they need to throw them some more red meat. So how about a Hunger Games with the immigrants who want citizenship? Boy, it's all history. It's all there. It's all happened before. And because we don't really teach history in this country, that's why you're able to get away with it again. Because if you don't know history, it repeats itself, and it's gonna repeat itself. But we could be better. I hope we can be better. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my food for thought. I'm gonna do a quick little video because this is what this is not a actual person. This is a video. Oh, all the information from these videos will be in the show notes, right? If you want to follow up, please follow up and visit them. They're all from Instagram for the last one, which is from YouTube. This is just a glimpse of something that I used to do a lot of, being outside, that I definitely know that used to keep me centered, that I need to do it again. Just walk in nature, camp a lot, be in the water, kayak, And that's what I'm going to be working towards happening real quick. I hope you come. And you know who you are. Yeah, so I'm going to play the last video, food for thought, and then we're going to be out of here. And be careful. The death regime is not playing. I don't know what to do. If you go in detention, I don't know to tell you, man. Just play dead. I mean, really, just try to get out and try to stay sane. I don't know. I don't want to. Yeah, the tension is sad. I just hate to see it happening to people who are just trying to work and take care of their families, and now they're being vilified and being attacked and being lied to, and then being tortured. And I just hate to say that we know someone will die.
I'm up and I won't look down. Hey, long enough to see me drown. If I ever come down, I'll be falling on the solid ground. Falling on the solid ground. Hey, long enough to see me drown. If I ever come down, I'll be falling on the solid ground.
Yeah, man, we gotta get back outside. That's the goal. That's the goal. And my goal is like to get. I never want to buy a car. I'm about SUV. I'm gonna set that up as a bug out vehicle, and then be like camping like at least 2 or 3 times a week. Yeah, 2 or 3 times a month, definitely. Yeah, get back to my old life. Cool. All right, we out of here. Peace, blessings.
All right, people, we out. Choose love every time, and things will work out. All right, peace. See you next week.
Love you.